karena sa bukod, pinapanang sa lahat ng dito.
Media educators are warning called to become press freedom.
This corruption in media will introduce you
Since 1973, Ricardo Ricky Lee has written more than 150 film scripts. Among them, Himala, Relasyon, Jaguar, Salome, and Boral. He has worked with top directors like Lino Broca, Ishmael Bernal, Mike De Leon, Doris Guillen, and Marilu Diaz-Abaya to create some of the best Filipino films. Lee is a veteran in the International Film Festival circuit, with many of his films landing screenings in foreign shores, such as in the Cannes, Toronto, and Berlin film festivals. His work has earned him over 50 trophies from all the award-giving bodies in the Philippine movie industry, including the Natatanging Gawad Urian Lifetime Achievement Award from the Manunuri ng Pelikulang Pilipino or Filipino Film Critics in 2003. Lee is also a fictionist, journalist, and playwright. His books have achieved cult status, including Para Kay B, Trip to Quiapo, Si Amapola sa Ika-65 na Kabanata, and Sa Puso ng Himala. Since 1982, Lee has been conducting free scriptwriting workshops through the Philippine Writers Studio Foundation, which aims to provide support to new and struggling writers. One of the ways he is giving back to society and enriching Filipino culture. Welcome to News Cafe. I'm Mitzi Borromeo. Today we get up close and personal with one of the Philippines' best and most prized scriptwriters. He has written more than 160 film scripts, earning countless awards here and abroad. Mr. Ricky Lee, welcome to News Cafe. Now I know you don't like this title of best, but we'll find out today why you are the best. One of them. Now you just came from Daet, which is actually your hometown. You did a workshop there. Tell us about your hometown.
Daet is a very small town in Bicol. Lalo na when I was growing up, ang feeling ko talaga noon, ang liit-liit nung town na to. And I wanted to get out of this place.
So, probinsyano gusto
Oo, talagang town na town siya. Walang nagbabasa.
At that time, but also let's start from your childhood. You're always interested in reading.
Yeah.
From a very young, and films, you know, that's how you escape films reading. But how you tried to find this escape because your mother died at a very young age, at the age of 5.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
Halos hindi ko na siya nakilala kasi
5
years old lang ako noon eh. And then, nang namatay siya, hindi kami, ako at saka yung half-sister ko, hindi kami kayang alagaan ng tatay ko. So, pinaampon kami sa relatives ko, uncle and auntie. Tindahan ng alak, sari-sari store. And so, I grew up there. Mga lasing and everybody, at so on and so forth. But very colorful. Kwentong-kwento. Kaya lang, I was very shy, extremely shy nung bata pa ako. Pag nagkikita kami ng tatay ko sa kalsada, umiiwas din siya. Shy din siya.
Hindi kayo close.
Pinagmanahan. Shy din siya. Maybe we were close in our own way.
Silent way.
Yeah, But nahihiya eh. Hardly, siguro wala pang 5 sentences ang na-exchange namin sa bawat isa on one occasion, on any occasion sa buong buhay namin until namatay siya much later. And so, given that, ang escape ko yung provincial library. So, I would read and read and read and read and read everything na nakikita ko dun sa library. Maski na nag-i-inventory yung library o bumabagyo o nakasara, kumakatok ako.
Pages ng books. Saan ka kumukupit ng mga...
Hindi, ang ginagawa ko, pag may nakita akong libro, I remember Book of Knowledge, encyclopedia yun eh. So, pag may magandang portion, pinupunit ko yung pages na magaganda, yung laman, iniipon ko sa bahay. Ang feeling ko, pag napunit ko lahat ng magagandang portions ng maraming libro, pag kinumpile ko sila, akin yung pinakamagandang libro.
May anthology ka na.
May anthology ako ng the best portions ng buong library. In fairness to the librarian, Mr. De Mesa ang pangalan niya. Palagay ko na halata niya na numinipis yung mga librong sinusoli ko eh.
Natuwa siguro siya,
He never mentioned.
He never went after you.
He never went after me. He never castigated me. Siguro may nakita siya, ba't itong bata, this child so hungry for books, for knowledge. So, siguro naawa o natuwa siya. So, never niya akong sinita. And utang na loob na malaki ko yun. Kasi kung kinastigate niya ako at sinita niya ako at pinahiya niya ako at pinatigil na niya akong humiram sa library, baka na-turn off ako o na-traumatize ako sa mga libro.
So he encouraged you.
So, yeah. And after that, tinigil ko na yung paggawa nun. Pero lumaki yung respeto ko, hindi lang sa kanya, pati sa libro. This precious...
Yes. This is what
gems.
taught you to construct stories. This
It's
is your...
what taught me, and I think yun yung pundasyon. Doon nagsimula, I think, yung pagiging writer ko. Kung ano man ako ngayon bilang tao, bilang writer, I think doon nagsimula. Doon sa incident na yun sa library.
Ngayon sa mga pelikula naman, may kaklase kayo na Who Owned the Movie House.
Yes.
You didn't have enough money to watch movies.
Yeah, well, kuminsan kumukupit ako sa tindahan. Nagbabantay ako sa tindahan namin ng alak, sari-sari store din. So kumukupit ako. Kuminsan nakakapanood ako. Pero kung hindi, pupuslit kami sa fire exit, then nanonood kami. Pero kung talagang wala akong pera, nakikinig ako sa tapat ng sinihan kasi they had these big loudspeakers that time. So, pinapakinggan ko lang lahat ng dialogue. That time naman, pinag-uusapan lahat ng nangyayari sa pelikula. Nasa dialogue. So, na-imagine ko yung buong pelikula. Yun ang secondary education ko.
Yes.
Library yung primary and then secondary. I
Wonderful.
think the combination of reading books and watching or listening to films, yun yung nag-mold sa akin sa imagination ko.
Yes, full sensory experience.
And I think yun ang nagbigay sa akin ng passion na one of these days, gagawa ko ng kwento na
Diyan pala
pakikinggan, papanoorin ng lahat. Aalis ako dito sa diet at magkukwento ako.
Now, you have this fascination with aswang. This started actually during the time your mother passed away because may mga folklore, no? At that time.
Yung nagkasakit yung mother ko at sumasakit yung tiyan niya, and sabi nila, dahil may aswang na naging interesado sa kanya. And so, para mailayo siya, dinala kami doon sa relatives ko para doon siya magpagaling. Pero sinundan siya ng aswang doon sa relatives ko, and then naalala ko merong faith healer na ginagamot siya, pinaiga siya sa Manila paper. Nang gumising sa kinaumagahan, ang daming mga tinik-tinik ng isda doon sa bed niya. And so, I got fascinated with mga aswang that time.
Yes.
Growing up, I found out na namatay siya sa cancer sa stomach. Hindi naman dahil sa mga aswang. Unfair naman sa mga aswang. So, yun yung nagbigay sa akin ng passion at advocacy na magsusulat ako sa mga aswang at ilalagay ko sila sa tamang lugar kung ano man ang fair para sa kanila.
Right.
And so yun. So I started toying around with ideas and so on. Until finally, nakagawa ako ng nobela na mas tama ang pananaw sa aswang.
Yan yung theme, which we will get to later. Before that, you were writing at a young age. So, ng early schooling years, you were writing short stories. In fact, you won a prize. How did that start?
Well, I kept writing as a way of surviving, as a way of making something more of myself than yung feeling ko ng liit-liit ko. So I kept writing and writing para doon sa ganung dahilan. But then when I sent a short story to a magazine here sa Manila, Filipino Free Press, at tinanggap nila, and they sent me sa diet 50 pesos, I realized, I felt empowered. I realized na, pwede akong kumita sa pagsusulat. Mayroon akong kapangyarihan, maski konti. With words, I can earn money. So from then on, inisip ko na pwede palang trabaho ang pagsusulat. So with that 50 pesos, I was finally able to run away from home 2 weeks before graduation, and then took a bus with some friends na pareho kong mahirap, came to Manila, not knowing where to go, what to do, anong trabaho, anong naghihintay sa amin, but I felt empowered.
Yes.
Finally, nakatakas ako sa diet.
So ito na ang freedom,
Ito na yung freedom.
And
I'll be somebody.
Yes, and freedom to pursue your creativity. So you always wanted to study
Everything I
writing.
wanted to be,
Yes.
gagawin ko na ngayon. Hindi ko alam na mahirap pala. Pero yung desire, andun. And sabi ko, so hindi ako babalik ng diet. Never.
At ang
Actually,
hirap-
bumalik ako after mga 10, 12 years. But talagang pininindig ako, hindi ako babalik ng diet.
What a life.
Magsasurvive ako dito maski mag-isa.
At talagang you survive. You took on different odd jobs. Kung ano-ano na lang pinasukan mo.
Nag-waiter ako, nag-salesman ako, nag-tutor ako ng English and Math, kung ano. Nag-a-apply ako sa bawat tindahan
At
sa
working
Avenida,
student.
asking kung may vacancy. All throughout my college years, I was a working student.
So you went to Lyceum for journalism and then took up AB English at UP.
In UP, where people would label me as, ay si Ricky, yung Bicolanong in-chick na nag-aaral ng AB English pero nagsusulat sa Pilipino. So,
Parang malabo.
ganun ka, parang freak, parang ganun ka weird.
You went to Chinese school earlier too, so you speak Chinese.
Until
You can
grade
count
5
and
or konti, pawala na ng pawala. But Chinese ang father ko eh. And,
Right. So while you were at UP writing, you also landed your first big break during this time in college.
In UP, first year or second year, nanalo na ako na palangka.
Bata pa.
Consecutive years yata. First prize sa palangka. And then, nagtrabaho na ako sa magazine, national magazine, hindi campus
Imagine.
paper.
Oo.
Nag-proofreader na ako, copy reader, and so on.
Oo.
And so, while studying in UP, nagsusulat na ako
Oo.
ng short stories and eventually journalism sa labas ng campus. But I'd like to say na lahat ito nangyari because of the kindness of strangers and friends.
Yes.
Laging may taong tumutulong sa tabi, sa tabing daan man yan. Nung one time nahimantay ako sa gutom sa avenida because I was a working student. So, laging may tumutulong, stranger man o kaibigan. Hindi nawala yon since childhood hanggang ngayon. Laging may taong tumutulong. So, hindi ko i-claim solely yung credit,
Always
whatever
lucky.
has happened to me.
Oo.
No.
Paano ka kaya nag-survive na you were so young but you
And
had
I was so
much...
sickly and payat. Hindi ako ganito na, ang payat-payat ko. Sabi nga ni Marilu, pag nakikita ka namin, parang lagi ka namin gustong pakainin.
Oo.
The first time nag-meet kami ni Marilu Diaz, yung director ko sa Brutal,
Oo.
nakita kami, yan ang una niyang impression eh. Parang kailangan itong kumain.
Oo.
Kasi I was so thin and shy and sickly and frail eh.
Yeah.
But tulong ng mga tao.
Right. So
The
this is...
kindness of friends.
Well, we'll take a quick break. We have more stories. When we come back, we'll hear more from Ricky Lee.
Dami mong thoughts, ideas.
Oo.
Pero yung pag-upo mo, parang, paano sisimulan?
I think it's nice na you absorb many ideas because the first step usually should be many ideas, 80% of which are bad. As I said kanina, the first step is totally in flow. Just keep writing. Just keep writing. Lalabas talaga dyan, pangit. The first step is always pangit. That's why the second draft lagi or third draft. So just let it out. Pangit lahat ng baby. Despite yung magsasabi ng nanay, ang gwapo-gwapo ng anak ko, hindi pa yan magwapo kasi may mga ano pa at may ganito, etc. Pero alam niya, potentially, sa totoo naman din, tama siya. But madumi talaga ang baby. Hindi ko alam kung may alam kayong baby na pinanganak na malinis na at maayos na. So lahat ng drafts, ganun din eh. So tanggapin mo na pangit ang lalabas na unang draft. When you brainstorm, hindi po pwede yung mali yan, luma yan, pangit yan, etc. You cannot. And that's the second step. The first step has to be, let it all come out. Damo man yan, o bulaklak yan, o tanim, o gulay, let it all come out. Saka ka na mamili.
You're watching News Cafe as we get into the mind of Ricky Lee. Okay, Ricky, when you were in UP, of course, this started your activist life, no?
Oo.
Paano ba yan nangyari? Siyempre,
Hindi ka naman pwedeng umiwas eh.
Oo.
In the 70s, nakikita mo sa palibot eh. Ayaw kong ma-involve kasi gusto ko scholar ako para libre ang tuition. Kasi working student ako eh. Kaya lang nakikita mo eh. Hindi ka pwedeng hindi eh. So eventually, na-involve ako, naging activista ako.
Oo.
And
Naging
then-
part ka rin ng paksa, yung
Yeah,
panulat para
oo.
sa kaunlaran ng sambayanan.
ng sambayanan. Si Bien Lumbera yung
Oo.
chairman, ako yung secretary, and so on.
What was it like at that time?
Well,
Philosophy.
totoo na napaka-repressive. Di ba? May censorship. Lalo na nung martial law. Ang daming bawal, and so on. Nung martial law, pwede kang bigla na lang dukutin.
Oo.
Marami kang hindi pwedeng sabihin. So, totoo na nakakatakot siya. Pero looking back, ang dami ring happy memories for me.
Oo.
It was a time for camaraderie, for comradeship, for endless discussions. Hanggang gabi, hanggang umaga, discussions on may Diyos ba? Anong ginagawa ng gobyerno? Bakit naghihirap ang mga tao? Lahat ng discussions na yun, passionate discussions,
Yes.
ibang-iba eh. Sa
Oo.
ibang bawat sulok, sa UP.
Nag-iisip talaga.
Nag-iisip, nagdi-discuss. At lahat, ba't naman yung pinag-usapan kung may Diyos? Ba't na yung pinag-usapan kung anong ginagawa ng Amerika sa atin? Noon, hindi. Talaga, all those discussions, naalala ko.
Oo.
Ang sarap-sarap. And I think it's partly also what molded me into
Yes,
what I
that's
am
true.
now as a writer and as a
That's
person.
true. So many different experiences. And during martial law, naging fugitive ka nun, no? And
Nag-
you were in
full-time
prison for
ako.
1 year.
Yeah, nung martial law, nag-full-time na ako.
Oo.
Underground. And then, a couple of years later, ni-raid yung bahay ko, madaling araw, and nahuli ako. So,
Kasama
nakulong
niyo si
isang
Benvenido
taon.
Lumbera.
Si Bien
Oo.
Lumbera na nahuli rin dun sa lugar na nire-rent ko. It was a very small place. Na, sabi nga nung military, paano ka nag-survive in that hole? So si Bien, si Joan, editor ng Yes Magazine, doon din nahuli sa bahay ko. So nakulong kami ng isang taon sa Fort Bonifacio.
And nung
During which, ang dami-daming magagandang pelikulang naglalabasan. So, isa yun sa
Oo,
mga
golden
crimes ng gobyerno that time sa akin. Na-miss ko lahat ng mga pelikulang ito. Then, after 1 year, na-release kami.
Oo. Now, during this time, you got very sick. Muntik
I got
na
very
kayong
sick.
namatay.
I was coughing blood, literally blood from the lungs, fresh
Yeah.
blood from the lungs. And so, eventually, they had to bring me to the hospital, military hospital. So, I stayed
Yeah.
for 3 months in the military hospital. That's how close I was to dying.
Yeah.
But then, gumaling ako after a couple of months. Nag-relapse ako uli. Binalik naman ako for about a week or two sa hospital, then balik uli. So, I was really very sickly at that time, inside.
Yeah. What kept you going there? I mean, it was 1 year, but a very difficult time. Ano
Really
iniisip
difficult
niyo?
for me because sakitin ako and I was very shy at hindi ako ganito kadaldal at that time. Hindi ako ganito kadaldal. Ang dami kong problema rin and I was trying to write inside prison. Hindi ako masusulat ng pamangit ng mga nasusulat ko. And kukunti ang dumadalaw sa akin kasi wala naman akong immediate family. Madaling dumalaw magulang o kapatid
Oo.
eh. Wala naman akong magulang.
Sa daet rin yung
Half-sis-
mga
Napatay
pinsan.
ng magulang ko. And then, yung half-sister ko natatakot or hindi makadalaw. Ang dumadalaw sa akin, isang pinsan ko na nagde-day off siya once a month ata sa nakakadalaw. Pero mahirap yung proseso ng paghingi ng permit. Kaya, madalang di siya makadalaw. So, may konting kaibigan na nakakadalaw paminsan-minsan. So, but again, looking back, siguro ito naging philosophy ko sa buhay eh. Yung pinaka-negative sa akin, yun din ang pinaka-positive eh. Looking back,
Yeah.
nakita ko yung pagmamahal eh, yung warmth ng mga
Yes.
kasamahan eh.
Yeah.
Ang dami kong nakita na positive things eh, sa
Right.
loob eh. So kung gaano kadilim, ganun din pala kaliwanag eh. And so, as I said, looking back, nakita ko na lahat yata ng negative experiences ko sa buhay, yun din ang pinaka-positive experiences ko.
Tama.
Yung paglayas ko sa Bicol, yung pagkakakulong ko, iikutin mo lang yung coin, then, kaya pala siya sobrang positive kasi naging sobra siyang negative. Kung lahat galing sa puro positive, parang hindi magiging ganun katindi eh. So, parang,
Iba rin talagang pag-iisip nyo, no? Because that's what it takes. And you say this about your writing. It's how you notice things and observe your
it's how,
environment.
and then it's how you see na, yung negative, positive, o pwede maging positive.
Yes.
And pareho sila, and you have to embrace both. Kailangan yakapin mo pareho, doon nagiging buo. So, ang blessed ko pala
Yes.
that I have gone through a life where nakulong, nahimatay sa gutom, and so on. I had to struggle, nag-working student, nag-drop out ako sa UP, di ko natapos. Pero looking back, ang blessed ko pala kasi hindi maraming tao nakadanas ng maraming klaseng karanasan sa buhay.
It's also a blessing to have someone like you in the world. I mean, that's why you're a survivor. Talagang lahat ng nakikita mong mahirap, talagang kakayanin mo.
Oo, parang you have no choice eh.
That's true.
Para mabuhay ka, kailang tanggapin mo pareho eh.
That's what it takes to survive. Now, after the martial lawyers, wala kang trabaho. You had to try, you were trying again your
Naghanap,
hand.
ikot, inilako ako ni Rolando Tino hanggang nakahanap kami ng isang movie outfit, binigyan ko retainers, etc. and so on and so forth. So, yun, then napasok na ako sa movies.
Oo. So what was it? Finally, writing for the movies after doing short stories, pasok na sa movies. Kumusta yung industry?
Pagpasok ko sa movies, Babes in the Woods ako eh. Maswerte, sabi ko sa iyo, I think ang philosophy ng buhay ko, lagi akong sinasapok, pero laging may mabait na kaibigan at stranger. Mabait sa akin, maski hindi ko kilala. So, maski sa pelikula, pagpasok ko, kinupkup agad ako eh, ng mga taga-pelikula eh. Ang first projects ko, iba-iba agad na director eh. Ang swerte ko, I was able to work with Lino Roca, Ismael Bernal,
Top
Maril
directors,
Frias,
yeah.
Loris Guillen, Gil Cortez, Mel Chonglo, and so on. Yung ibang mga contemporaries ko, pa isa-isa lang na director ang katrabaho, tuloy-tuloy. Pero pa isa o dalawa lang. Ako, para ako nag-workshop, lipat ng lipat sa napakarami iba-ibang klaseng director, different styles, different temperaments, and lahat sila kinupkup ako na, ito si Ricky, pakainin natin, si Ricky, kawawa. Ito si Ricky, naging-meeting tayo, walang dalang papel si Ricky, bigyan mo ng ballpen, sasabihin nila, They were all taking care of me because I looked so frail and thin and confused and naive and galing probinsya at nakulong and everything. So, I felt so at home.
Yeah.
Wala naman akong totoong bahay, wala akong pamilya eh. Nung lumayas ako sa Bicol, and sabi ko, hindi mo na ako babalik. So, wala akong pamilya during those years eh. So, ito yung naging pamilya ko. Dati pamilya ko yung Kilusan when I got involved. And then itong mga taga-pelikula, sina Lino and so on. They really, really took care
So
of
you
me.
found your new home and family
Yes.
here
And
in
at the
film.
same time na may bago akong pamilya, para ako nag-workshop, I was learning a lot about writing films.
Right.
Bernal will tell me, no, this is how you do it. Dino will say, this is how you do it. Marilo, this is how you do it. So I got stretched
Daming mentors.
northeast, southwest. So I felt so creatively expanded.
Yes.
So parang kaya ko kung gawin maski ano. Kasi
Oo.
in-expand nila ako lahat.
At a young age, you were so open to all
Yeah,
these-
kabago-bago ko sa pelikula, na-expand ako ng ganun. And then 2-3 years in film, 79 ako officially, professionally pumasok sa pelikula. In 1982, after doing Himala and so on, 2-3 years pa lang, I started conducting workshops already. So people were telling me na, ba't ka mag-workshop? Wala ka pang nalalaman masyado. Tatatlo, 2 taong ka lang. Ang yabang naman. Ba't naman? Anong isi-share mo? But I felt na i-share mo siya habang natututunan. Pag pumapasok, ilalabas mo agad. Huwag mo hintayin na naipon na sa'yo. And then years later, tsaka may papasa, baka mabulok. So, yung konsepto ko na umiikot yon ng ganun, I think was the next best thing that happened to me. Aside from dun sa kinupkup ako ni Nalino and so on. Kasi by conducting all these free workshops, tremendous learning.
Yes, you learn from your
It
participants
kept me on my toes.
Yes.
Again, it stretched me. Kasi if you have 25 to 30 workshoppers, magkakaibang estilo, magkakaibang temperaments, philosophy, ideology, hinihila nila ako in all directions. And I was very open na mahila in all directions. Again, it got expanded.
Yeah, okay, we want to hear more about that
Yeah.
expansion, but it's time for another short break. News Cafe will be right back.
Ang first step is, kailangan matuto kang tingnan ng sarili mo, pasukan ng sarili mo, touch base with your emotions because prerequisite ng writing yung honesty eh. Kung hindi ka honest sa sarili mo, pag nagsulat ka ng characters, hindi rin sila honest sa sarili nilang emosyon eh. Nagtatago rin sila ng mga nakatago eh. Ayaw rin lang puntahan ng subconscious nila kasi ayaw mo rin puntahan. So pagdating sa audience, ang audience kumakapit dun sa surface ng character mo. Eh ang audience, mas kumakapit, ang kinakapitan niya yung ilalim. Pag conscious mind lang ng audience ang kumakapit, mababaw. Pero yung subconscious ng audience na hindi rin niya aware, or maybe ang issue niya sa buhay niya, abandonment, iniwan sila ng tatay niya, at hindi niya alam ba't sila iniwan ng tatay niya, at lumaki siya blaming herself. So now when you watch a film about a father and a daughter, or abandonment, or mag-boyfriend and abandonment ang issue, even if hindi magtatay, ang natatouch doon yung loob mo. Kasi raw sa'yo ang issue ng abandonment eh, na hindi nagpaliwanag eh, tinext na lang yung girlfriend. Or bigla nang nawala yung boyfriend, walang paliwanag. So madali kang matouch doon. So natatouch tayo hindi sa pag-break up, surface, natatouch tayo doon sa loob ng sitwasyon, which is the abandonment ng walang paliwanag. So, yung ilalim ng writer, pupunta sa ilalim ng character, kaya pupunta sa ilalim ng audience. Hindi pwedeng ibabaw ang nagkumakapit. As a writer, and up to na maski na 30, 40 years na ako nagsusulat, when I write a script or a novel, para akong first time nagsusulat, we encounter the same problems. Hindi ko rin alam where to go, or marunong ba akong magsulat, o pangit ba ito, etc. So I show you na bukas din ako, para bukas din yung participants.
You're watching News Cafe. We're talking to Ricky Lee. Okay, Ricky, let's talk about your movies. So one of your first movies with director Mike De Leon, you were supposed to discuss this miracle of the Virgin in the island of Cabra.
Actually, I was one of the 3 writers of Itim. Pero at the time, maarte pa ako, ayaw kong magpa-credit. Hindi pa ako sigurado sa pelikula o kung ano nga ba and so on. So, hindi ako nagpa-credit sa Itim. But I was one of the 3 writers of Itim. But while writing Itim, naisipan ko, at nung kaibigan ko, si Hilkito, one of the writers of Itim, na maganda gawa ng pelikula tungkol sa faith healers. Kasi may psychic consultant yung Itim na nagkwento ng mga cases ng faith healing. That got me interested. Ay, gawa kang pelikula tungkol dito. So may nakita akong makapal na libro which was published in 1968 tungkol sa isang dalagita na nakakita ng mahal na birhen at nabago yung buhay sa buong island sa Mindoro. So that became the basis for Himala.
Okay. This is, and then later on you had another big break with Lino Brocka, the film Jaguar, which you co-wrote with Pete Lacaba.
With Pete, sabi ni Pete, willing ka bang magtrabaho? Co-writer with Lino. Sabi ko, syempre. Ayun, so officially, yun ang naging first credited film ko Jaguar.
Oo. And it was entered
and
into the Cannes Film Festival.
Yes, oo.
at the time.
Ito yung kauna-nahang pelikulang naging in competition sa Cannes. Kasi yung Inxiang exhibition lang.
Oo.
Ito yung kauna-nahang pelikulang nag-compete sa Cannes. After that, natuloy-tuloy na.
Oo.
From Jaguar to Brutal to Moral to Carnal, many of the ALS. Yes.
Kasi syempre, friends, your mentors also the directors. How did you get
Kumalat na
into these
eh.
projects?
Magkakaibigan eh. I suppose I did well sa Jaguar kasi nabalitaan niya, no? Si
Oo.
Jesse Ercito asked Marilu, gawa tayong pelikula, sinong gusto mong writer? Nag-isip si Marilu, sino bang writer kilala ko? Baguhan din ako sa pelikula, kakaisang pelikula pa lang. Nakita niya yung Jaguar, nakita ang pangalan ko. Ay, si Ricky Lee, sabi niya. Hindi pa niya ako nami-meet. That's why nang nagkita kami sa Jack's Restaurant, andun yung producer, noon niya ako na-meet, nang pumapasok ako, yun ang unang pumasok sa mind ni Marilu. Kawawa itong taong ito, itong taong ito, kailangan pakainin itong taong ito. And pinakain niya ako ng maraming bagay, hindi lang pagkain. All the intellectual things and the
yes.
books. She was
Busog
really a
sa
voracious reader and all the
knowledge.
discussions. And after that, napanood din na Mike Tolon yung Brutal at ng iba pa. So, nagkabit-kabit na eh.
Oo. Well, let's talk about Brutal.
Yeah.
That film was quite harrowing also because syempre
yes,
yung story nun, no? Napaka... For you, what was the process? Because it's a difficult story to write.
Yeah.
What is the process when you come up with
Well,
content?
ako, lagi mo sinasabi sa mga workshoppers ko, hindi ako makakip still sa isang lugar. I easily get bored. Maligalig akong tao. Ambulant akong writer. Nagsusulat ako, lakad ako ng lakad sa kwarto. And so, hindi ako nag-i-stick sa isang kahon lang. Lipat ako ng lipat ng lipat. From short stories to film writing, ganun ako. So when I started writing Brutal, wala ako ng konsepto ng hindi ginagawang ganyan, bawal sa Pilipinas ang ganyan. Naku, flashback within a flashback.
So yan yung
Mahirap
signature
yan
style, yan ang
maintindihan.
lumabas dyan.
Oo.
Oo.
Or ang structure mo ganito, bida ba si Charo, bida si Ami Austria. So, walang makaintindi ng sequence treatment ko. Pero sa akin, natural yung gano'n kasi maligalig ako eh. I don't get stuck in one. So, gala ako ng gala. So, sa akin, natural lang yon. In fairness to Marilu, sabi niya, naintindihan niya, and she appreciated it. And so, pinayagan kami ni Jesse Ercito, we were able to do it. So, it was a very personal thing for me. And pinuri-puri siya ng lahat. And during the Metro Manila Film Festival, I thought that was going to win because everybody was saying, mananalo ka. Nanalo nga si Maestro, nanalo nga si Marilu. And mananalo ka. And so, natalo ako. So, umiyak ako nung gabi. And I think it was, yun yung sinabi ko lagi eh, kung anong negative, eventually yun ang naging positive. Eh. Yung, ang high ko dahil pinuri ng pinuri, and then suddenly para akong binagsak, and then umiyak ako na natalo ako dun sa award. It made me see things na mas malinaw eh, na teka, ano nga ba ang awards? Ano nga ang gusto ko? Ano nga ba ang totoong value ng trabaho ko?
Yes.
I think yun yung painful lesson na nagturo sa akin. Kaya I think naging mas tama ang tingin ko na, it's a pat on the back, yung
Yes.
award, and I thank you sa appreciation, but
Right.
doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean na
Right.
ikaw ang pinakamahusay na writer. Doesn't mean na hindi ka mahusay na writer dahil di ka na,
That's right.
Tapos na yung trabaho mo eh.
Oo, because one should not be working to get awards.
Yeah,
diba?
and you should not be working to get awards. You should not even be working to get mga karangalan and honors
Oo,
and everything.
it's not
Eh. I'm just
objective.
communicate, I'm sharing a story.
Yes.
Sana ma-appreciate.
Yes.
Na-appreciate, thank you. So, mas luminaw. So, from then on, din ako naniwala na may best screenplay o best director. How can you quantify?
So if I ask you who's your favorite director, favorite film, it's difficult
I
for
have
you.
directors that I like, di ba? Starting from Nino and Ismael and so on. The good ones, basically, the ones I work well with up to now. So, mas ganun ang sagot ko. Sa mga pelikula ko, ganun din. And when people tell me halimbawa na, ay, you're the best scriptwriter. Sabi ko, hindi. I don't think mayroong best scriptwriter sa planetang ito. Kung naging mahusay akong writer, naging mahusay ko dahil maraming mga mahusay na writer na katabi ko. Sina Lualhati, sina Doy Del Mundo, sina Raquel Villavicencio, sina Pit Lacaba. We come as a wave. I become good because they're good.
Yeah.
And because better, I become better. Kung ako mag-isa, I don't think I'll really be that good. So nagiging good kami lahat, bouncing off
Yes.
each other's goodness. And so, we are all good. Now, how can you say kung sinong best? How can you quantify? And tama, no, kontento na tayo na marami tayong good writers. Ba't tayo kailang gumawa pa ng listahan ng good this and good that? Besides, I may be the best writer now, but tomorrow siya naman. The next day, baka ako uli. So,
Oh,
how
tama
can
yun.
you,
Especially
get
nowadays
stuck
where
with-
the new generation is so obsessed with
with
being the
lists.
best. Yes,
and
with
best.
lists.
Kasi hindi mo na kailangan mag-isip. Pag sabing best opinion na yung listing eh. But
Hindi na nag-iisip.
Mali. Oo, di ka na
Oo.
nag-iisip. Di mo nakikita. No, paano mo na-quantify?
Yeah.
May mga pelikula kung na best screenplay na ang feeling ko dapat hindi naman siya nanalo. At ang dami kong works na hindi nanalo na parang dapat ako nanalo.
Very
Kung
subjective.
magkwa-quantify tayo.
Yeah.
But
Well, let's
yun,
talk
so-
about another one of the best films in the Philippines, Himala.
Okay.
So, what was it like working with Nora Honor at the time?
That
so young.
time, hindi pa kami close ni Nora eh. At may mystic siya eh. Parang she was this superstar. At kita mo talaga ang mga tao pag nag-adulate sa kanya eh. Talagang sumusugod eh. Nababago niya ang consciousness ng mga tao. Tingnan lang niya eh. I mean, may magic talaga eh. May himala eh. So, I was in a way awed.
By her.
By
So
her.
you were-
During the Himala days. We became good friends only when I did Andrea with her. And then naging tatatayan ako ng mga anak niya. And so from then on, doon na nagsimula yung friendship. But not
Yes.
during
Yes.
but not during Himala.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about, of course, this recent issue, the National Artist Awards, where President Aquino did not want to give her the award?
Well, unang-una, I don't think dapat mong husgahan ang artista o isang artist ng kasabay ng paghuhusga sa klase ng naging buhay niya. Otherwise, walang papasa. 99% walang papasa. Singers, actors, directors, writers, and so on, walang papasa. Including sa mga dating national artists, walang papasa halos doon.
Yes.
Kasi wala namang unblemished na mga buhay sa mga yon eh.
Oo.
And especially because I think, in the case of Nora, halimbawa, or many artists, I think precisely, kaya nga siya pwedeng gamiting halimbawa ng isang Pilipino o Pilipina, precisely because nagdaan siya sa dilim. Dahil nagdaan siya sa sobrang madilim, kaya niya tayong tulungang pumunta sa liwanag.
Oo.
Kung puro siya liwanag, ano naman ituturo niya sa atin? Ay, ang buhay naman natin, tanggapin natin, madilim at maliwanag. And so, yung privileged position niya na dumaan siya sa dilim at pumunta sa liwanag at bumangon siya, saan ka nakakita ng artista na nakabangon, hindi na siya nagda-drugs at maski nung tests doon, 40 tests na lagpasan niya. At the age of 61, nakagawa na ng 4 na pelikula, kalahati pa lang ng taon. Ang dami ng projects na pinag-uusapan namin at lagi siyang, gawa tayong ganito, magbigay tayong free workshop, writing, script writing, directing sa Nora Honor Foundation. Magtayo tayo ng museum. Gawa tayo ng project ng mga Bicolano lahat involved na pelikula.
She gives back.
She's giving back and she's so passionate and so energetic na magbigay. And then last shooting day ng Hustisya, asan na yung listahan, nandun na mga listahan ng mga tao, mga crew and everybody else. Sabi, naku, abot ng 200. Paano natin mabibigyan ng pera to? Because last day ng shooting, nabibigyan siya ng pera.
Oo.
Ang sweldo niya naipon sa project, from dementia and so on, binibigay niya sa mga taong mahihirap lang sa set. So halos wala na siyang pera natitira.
Talaga siya.
Hindi ba yun yung
Oo, yan ang totoo.
model, Filipino model na gusto nating pamarisan?
Yeah.
Ayaw natin pamarisan ang santo kasi mahirap kayanin ng mga taong gumaya sa santo. Pero isang babae na dumaan sa dilim at napunta sa liwanag at ganito kaliwanag ang ginagawa at pagtulong, di ba mas yun ang pwedeng gayahin?
So, parang yung nangyayari dito, nagiging political ang awards, no?
Nagiging political because it comes from Malacanang. And so, dapat ang pumipili, mga taga-culture,
Yes.
taga-pelikula, taga-sa sining, pagkapili nila, ministerial na lang dapat. Kasi, I'm sure hindi qualified ang politicians. Kasi hindi naman
That's
sila,
right.
I'm not looking down, I'm not condescending, but wala sila exposure at proseso at practice and so on.
And in
So,
history,
hayaan
even
na.
during the Marcos times, this has happened through all administrations.
All throughout, bawat
Always
presidente may
politicized.
ginawa dyan. Ang isa may dinagdag, ang isa naglagay ng kategoryang bago, historical fiction, ang isa, and so on. Lahat sila pinapakialaman. And so, political ang motive lagi.
Yeah.
So, para matanggalin yung ganung mga kontrobersya, hayaan na yung mga taga-sining
Oo.
ang pumili at magparangal sa sarili nila.
Oo.
Kasi naman ang teritoryo nila. And ikalawa, ulitin ko, even sinasabi kong model si Guy, even sa nagawa niya sa buhay niya, dapat hindi yun kasama.
Oo.
Dapat yung body of work mo pa lang is enough
Right.
na dahilan para bigyan ng parangal.
And kasi nakakatulong rin to sa kanila. Dapat habang buhay sila, nabibigay yung award, no?
Yeah, huwag tayo masyadong maramot sa mga
Posthumous.
artists na magbigay ng... Kasi ang buhay ng artist, writer, director, and so on, napakahirap.
Oo.
Napakahirap financially, napakahirap sa pagtingin, pag-appreciate. Laging kulang sa appreciation because hindi man talaga sobrang pinapahalagaan. Hindi magbibasa, pinapanood. So, kulang sila ng appreciation. So, yung kakatiting ng appreciation na pwede natin ibigay sa kanila habang nabubuhay pa sila, ba't hindi natin ibigay?
Oo.
Ba't
Tama
natin
yun.
pinagdadamot?
Alright, tama. Something to think about while we take another short
Yeah,
break.
oo.
When we return, we'll talk to Ricky Lee about his books and get some tips on writing.
Educators are now called to become press freedom.
Dapat creative tayo as human beings eh. And so dapat pag nasa dyan pa lang ng nanay, wala ka ng mga wag yan, wag yan, wag yan, wag yan. Pero meron din namang wag yan. Responsibility rin eh. But yung tama. Pero kadalasan, di ba, uy, kakainin ka ng aswang or ano ka. So the kid will grow up with many fears sa subconscious niya. And so wala siyang courage pag nagsusulat o pag mag-interview. And you need courage. You need courage when you write. Hindi ka pwedeng duwag. Lahat ng writers duwag and may inferiority complex at may anxiety at lahat nag-iisip na ako ang pinakamasamang writer sa buong mundo. Lagi yun. And every time you start a project, you're always thinking, ang sama-sama ako. Or sinusulat mo siya, ang ganda-ganda ng nasulat while writing. Pag binasa mo lang, pangit-pangit. So always put yourself down. Totoo yun. But you need courage. You have to put yourself up ulit, and then you get down ulit, and then up ulit. Ang hirap maging writer eh. Swing up and down ka talaga lagi.
You're watching News Cafe as we talk to Ricky Lee. Okay, Ricky, your first novel came out in 2008, Para Kay B.
Okay,
O kung
2008
paano
yan,
dinevastate ng pag-ibig ang 4 out of 5 sa atin.
Yes.
Paano mo yan naisip?
Actually, napuno na ako at naporga na ako sa katatrabaho sa soap, sa TV for so many years. So sabi ko, kailangan akong umalis dito kung hindi mababaliw ako. Eh, hindi naman ako literally makakaalis sa ABS-CBN sa trabaho ko. So, what I did was, umalis ako pagsusulat ng TV and sabi ko magpo-focus ako, magsusulat ako ng nobela. First novel ko sa buhay ko. So, hindi ako nanonood ng pelikula, hindi ako pumunta sa mga affairs, hindi ako pumunta sa Himalaya, whatever. Wala. Talagang
Focus. Talaga.
pelikula.
Oo.
Ay, novela.
Novel.
Sulat
Oo,
ng nobela.
writing.
I was able to write 3 drafts. The first draft of 3 novels, and so napili ako kung anong unahin ko. Eh,
Oo.
naisip ko, love story unahin ko. That's why Para Kay B.
Oo.
Para mas relatable, mas
Oo.
accessible sa
Very
tao.
visual rin siya. Ito may drawings. In fact, they say this is very translatable into film.
Yeah, I think dahil yun sa matagal kong pagtatrabaho sa pelikula at sa TV. So the rhythm is almost cinematic. The
Oo.
editing of the sentences and the paragraphs.
Oo.
Malaking contribution ng
Oo.
ng pelikula.
At ang sumunod dyan, ang
Si Amapola sa 65 na kabanata. Nalagi kong kinukurak yung iba na si Amapola sa 65 kabanata. Sabi ko hindi, 65.
Oo, Taglish talaga yun.
Which shows kung ano ako eh. Hindi ba maligalig ako. Ay,
Oo,
hindi
that's
ako
right.
naniniwala sa bakod. Hindi ako
You break
naniniwala sa
stereotypes.
kahon.
Walang
Ay,
one way lang.
wala,
Oo.
lipat-lipat ko ano na ganun lahat. So yun din. So,
That was a political satire.
yeah.
Right? Tell us about why did you think na, di ba, manananggal? So, ano yung metaphor dito? Iniisip mo, well,
Unang-unang metaphor, kinakailangan ng bansa na maligtas. Sino ba ang magliligtas?
oo.
Isa bang outsider?
Oo.
Isa bang manananggal? O sarili ang magliligtas? So, yun yung unang metaphor, I suppose. Ikalawang metaphor, nandun sa blurb nung nobela na nakalagay sa cover, na lahat tayo hati, yung
Yes.
iba nga lang hindi
Maganda
nakakalipad. So, fragmented naman talaga tayo, lalo na sa Pilipinas. We've been
It's
colonized, we've been fragmented in so many
Schizophrenic na nga daw
bits.
tayo.
Yeah, that's why
Oo.
si Amapola has a multiple personality. May dalawa siyang
Right.
alters.
Yeah,
So yun, so the fragmentation is also there.
yeah. And with you, as you said earlier, you took up,
I am a
you're a Chinese Bicolano,
fragmented
took up English,
person.
writing Tagalog, yeah.
Yeah, from way back.
You say
up to
that
now.
you always write in Tagalog, so this is your way of contributing to Filipino culture. Ayaw mo talaga magsulat sa English, talagang
Oo,
Tagalog.
Pilipino yung, buhay ng
Filipino.
Pilipino yung sinusulat ko.
Oo.
Pilipino ang magbabasa. Pilipino ako. So bakit hindi sa
Oo.
Pilipino? That's why advocacy ako ngayon and I go to schools, universities. May mga kapwa writer ako na maglilibot kami sa buong Pilipinas. Mag-advocate kami ng magbasa tayo
Oo.
ng Pilipino. Fiction man o non-fiction. So, instead na andito lang ako nakaupo, kami mga writers, hindi, pupuntahan namin yung readers
Oo.
sa buong bansa. Kasi ang
That's
feeling ko, hindi totoong hindi nagbabasa ang Pilipino. They're hungry
Yes.
na may mabasa. Kaya lang, karamihan sa kanila, walang resources. So,
Oo.
lapitan mo sila.
Mm.
Magtayo ka ng, like itong pinunta namin sa Daet nitong huling piyesta, meron siyang tinayong coastal library sa isang fishing village sa Daet. So, pumunta kami, nag-donating kami ng libro doon. Nilalapit niya talaga doon sa mga bata,
Oo.
yung mga libro. Huwag mo
Oo.
hintayin ikaw ang lapitan, ilapit mo sa kanila.
Oo, yan mga Pilipino talaga. Kailangan talaga ma-expose, yun lang.
Kasi walang resources,
Yeah.
mahirap and so on.
Oo,
So,
tama.
puntahan mo sila. Which I try to do.
I love how you really bring this. You want to teach people. In fact, you wrote a script writing manual, Trip to
Yes,
Quiapo, where you share your own tips.
Step by step.
Yes,
Oo.
yes, yes.
Kung paano magsulat.
Oo. Why didn't you go into directing? Because you think that from script writing, usually ang tagal nyo na sa industry and people call you direct, in fact.
Ay, oo.
Di ba? Anong feeling
Dalawang
niyo
klase. Maski saan ako pumunta, either tatawagin akong direct or Ricky Lo. So, natanggap ko na.
Hindi mo na sila...
Fragmented din naman ako eh. So, split
Parang
talaga
sige na
ganun
nga.
lahat eh. But I don't think I'm really a director eh. I don't think kaya kong sumigaw ng cut.
Kasi parang
Maghahanap ako
awkward
ng AD na ikaw nang sumigaw. Pag may nagkamali, pakimura. But I don't think I can handle an entire set. Si Guy has been urging me na mag-direct at i-direct siya since years ago.
Yeah.
And so kung minsan natutukso ako at eventually napapayag niya ako, I just keep stalling for time. So
Yeah.
maybe if I do it at i-direct siya, siguro I'll be a writer na nag-direct once
Yeah.
or twice, but I'll always be a writer. From
What
birth
about-
till death, I'll always be a writer.
Always a writer, that's right. If you, what if some of your books are translated into film? Do you see that happening?
Ang dami na nagka-look actually. Para kay Bin, na-commit ko na nga as isang producer, di ko magagawa.
Oo.
Siya mo po lang, daming lumapit from Star Cinema to and so on. Hindi ako maka-yes pa. Nagkaka-cold feet ako eh. But
Oo.
I think eventually, it will
Right.
happen.
But would you like to direct it?
No.
Yan. Di rin,
no.
even not your own work.
Oo. No,
Oo.
masyadong malapit eh. Oo.
So you prefer teaching then because workshops take up a big chunk of your time, no?
I think writing has two aspects. Writing to communicate your stories and then mentoring to share your experiences in writing so people can also share their stories. I don't think you can write without sharing. So sa akin, two sides yun eh, ng isang coin. That's why nagsimula akong magpa-workshop, maski nakabagabagop ko lang sa pelikula. At may mga nagsabing, anong ituturo mo? Nag-workshop pa rin ako because I believe na kung anong natutunan mo, ituturo mo na ngayon din. And so I've never stopped writing and I've never stopped
Right.
workshopping.
Right.
Magkasabay sila
Yeah.
lagi.
And I like one of the things you always say in your workshops, you always say, stay hungry. You know, you say hunger will really make you creative.
Yes. Well,
Diba?
literally hungry in a way, which I went through sa buhay ko, but figuratively hungry. You have to
Yes.
be always hungry for, ano man yun,
Knowledge.
na
Yeah.
makita yung nasa likod ng pintuan, na
Oo.
marinig yung gusto niya sabihin, na makita kung bakit nakasimangat itong babae at di mo alam kung bakit at ayaw niya sabihin kung bakit at
Oo.
walang nagsasabi sa kung bakit. At hungry ka pa rin malamang, bakit nga ba siya nakasimangot? At ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng pagsisimangot sa buhay natin? At ako ba kailan napasimangot? And so on. So, yung ganong passion ng hungriness,
Yes.
I think kailangan mo sa
And also staying down to earth. In one of your forums with the Freelance Writers Guild of the Philippines, you said, may pagkabobo ako.
Ah,
And
yes.
this kabobohan is instrumental. What did you mean by that?
I cannot remember the brand, the make of my car, maski yung kulay. So, mula nung nagkakotse ako, hanggang ngayon, I keep opening the wrong door. I entered the wrong van. Up to
You're
now.
always thinking of something, that's
No,
why.
it's really bobo eh. I don't
It's
think
the
I'm really
male
that
brain.
equipped, siguro. I'm not really that equipped for life in so many ways. And so, may nakalagay na sticker ng Siamapola sa van ko ngayon. Otherwise, I'll open the wrong van. So, talagang may sticker doon. One anecdote to illustrate this was when I was applying for Filipino citizenship. Estudyante ako sa UP noon, second year or third year. Nasa Department of Foreign Affairs ako sa Manila. Paglabas ko ng building, I was looking for a ride. And then nakita kong kotse na nakabukas, may nakasakay na babae sa loob, at Chinese woman. Pumasok ako at tumabi sa kanya. And then, tumingin lang siya sa akin kasi kasunod kong pumasok yung husband niya. So, kala ng husband, kasamahan ako ng wife. Kala niya kasamahan akong wife. Sinara yung pintuan, umandar yung kotse. After mga 2-3 blocks, sabi ko, ay, para na po. And then, lumabas ako. It's that kind of kabubuhan. Wala siyang, it's a very guileless thing.
Yeah.
So, yun. So, I opened the wrong door. I wait
Almost like
until...
absent-mindedness. Ano?
Siguro, I don't know eh. But worse eh. Hinihintay ko na umalis lahat ng karamihan ng mga sasakyan nakapark sa North EDSA noon, SM, kasi mahirapan ako mamili. At least pag gabi-gabi na nakaalis na, konti na lang ang hit and miss possibilities. O yun, sakay ako ng taxi pa uwi, malapit ako sa UP Village, na may narent akong bahay, siguro 2-3 blocks away, bigla akong pinatigil yung taxi. Dahil sabi ko, ay, may kotse pala ako nakapark
Oo.
sa SM. So yun, it's that kind of kabubuhan. But looking back, I realized that it could be, as I said, laging pwede mong turn around. Yung kung anong pinaka-weakest point mo sa person, I think
Yes.
can be your strength in the end. Eh.
Yes.
So looking back, I felt na, ay, ang swerte ko pala. Kasi as a writer, you have to have the courage to open the wrong door. Hindi ka pwedeng sigurista na ay pag binuksan ko to, sigurado ako may hagdan dyan, o may bida dyan sa loob, o may pagkain eh. Hindi mo alam, may kontrabida ba, may monster ba, may dilim ba, pader ba, wala bang kwarto sa loob, bangin ba ang nandyan eh. And you have to open the door. I think it's important for a writer to open the door no matter what, regardless kung ano man, hindi ka maninigurado. And because may built-in na akong kabubuhan, I would open doors. So wala akong papakinggan na, ay mali ang ganyan na rule, dapat italicized, ay mali yung flashback within a flashback, ay mali yung, si Amapola mo, nobela mo, ang dialoguing niya, ang tono niya, bakla language, then suddenly, nasa Spanish period, serious Filipino na ang dialogue. And then may folklore, may Nora Honor character, etc. Yung, hindi ako naniniwala na may bakod o harang kasi walang bakod o pintuan sa akin. Kaya pwede kong buksan.
So one big tip from Ricky Lee, no rules really. You have, in writing, you need to learn to break rules, right?
And open that door.
And you're still doing that. How many years in the industry and still so many projects?
Opening doors. Like, gusto kong gawing graphic novel yung si Amapola. I've been wanting to write a graphic novel anyway. So, Amapola na lang. It's a new door for me. Musica, and maraming mga bagong doors. So, ako yun, in the end eh. Kung gusto mong magsulat, open that door.
Well, we hope to be there again when these doors open. That's all the time we have today. Thank you very much. And that's News Cafe for tonight. Thank you again, Ricky Lee, for being on the show. And see you again next Thursday for another delectable Mind Brew. This is News Cafe. I'm Mitzi Borromeo.
Media educators and those called to the